Hello everybody and welcome to another video on this channel. I'm currently headed towards the Hydro substation, and that's because that I'm going to take a train to Roskilde. So today's video I'm going to show you guys around in Roskilde, but not just Roskilde. I'm going to show you guys historical places in Roskilde. So Roskilde has a lot of history, and I'm going to talk about that in a couple of places in this video. And yeah, so without further ado, let's get to Roskilde. Okay, I'm here in Roskilde, and the train ride wasn't that bad. It was only like 7-minute train ride. And before I go to the historical places and all that, I will just talk about Roskilde itself. So Roskilde was established in 980s, and that means that Roskilde has over 1,000 years of history. And the historical places that I'm going to show you later in this video are actually from that period of time or a little bit later. And Roskilde was also in 12th century and 13th century the capital of Denmark, and up until 1417 Copenhagen was declared the capital of Denmark. So the kings was like interested in the 12th century and 13th century in Roskilde because there was a big market there. But then over the time they were more interested in Copenhagen, and then in 1417 Copenhagen was declared the official capital of Denmark. And Roskilde was also Zealand's most important city from the 10th century to the 13th century. And that can also relate to the other thing that I said, that the reason why Roskilde was the capital of Denmark was that it was just an important city. There was markets here and all of that. And then after the 13th century, Copenhagen became more important and the markets there. So that's why the kings decided to, choose Copenhagen. Okay, so the first location is actually this huge and big Roskilde Cathedral. So this Roskilde Cathedral is actually the Nordics region's first Gothic building, and also it is one of the first brick churches in around 1200. So about 200 years after Roskilde was established, this Roskilde Cathedral was made. And since the Roskilde Cathedral was made in 1200, you can actually find architectural styles from around that period, like 800 years ago. They have still just let them be there, and sometimes they had to renovate because how old the materials are, but some places you can actually find some architectural styles from 800 years ago. And the last thing I want to say is actually that Roskilde Cathedral has been the burial church of the royal family in centuries, where it contains 40 royal tombs, and 37 of them are actually known and 3 of them are attributed. So yeah, that was all what I had to say for this location. Now let's get on to the next historical location. Okay, so the next historical place here in Roskilde is actually this. This is a museum of Viking ships and all of the Viking history. If you talk about Denmark or just like Scandinavia itself, you can't forget to mention the Vikings and how they lived, how they made the country. And actually this museum was actually made in 1969, and it tells you a lot about the whole Viking history, about how they lived, how they did things, how strong they were. So on their website there was written that 1,000 years ago the Vikings sailed along the coasts of Europe, up rivers and across open seas throughout the North Atlantic area. And also on the website there was also written that the ships are actually an essence of the Viking age, and with them the Scandinavian countries were made and created. And that tells you how hard they had to work, how hard they had to, how consistent they had to be. Just with the ships alone, you have to do it manually. There's no motor, there's no any type of engine, so that takes a lot of strength. And they also have made a replica of the ships, as I told you before, and there is 5 ships in this museum, and they are different but similar at the same time. And yeah, overall it's just like a very good historical place. You can see how the Viking lived, how the Viking worked, how they made the ships, and they also do events. Sometimes they take the ships out in the sea, and then they just sail around and just tell you about the whole history. To the next historical location here in Roskilde is actually the Royal Mansion, also called the Yellow Mansion. This mansion is actually a former Royal Baroque mansion. It is actually placed right beside the Roskilde Cathedral, and this mansion was started being built in 1733, I believe, or 31, and was finished in 1736. So it took a couple of years to make this. And also the mansion was a headquarters of a general during the English siege of Copenhagen. So the English siege of Copenhagen is when the British came to Denmark and bombed Copenhagen in 1807, and this was the headquarters of one of the generals. Okay, so this was a little bit of this place. There isn't much to talk about. I've just told you everything that there is information about this place. And yeah, so let's get on to the next historical place, which is right on across the street. So yeah. All right, the last historical place I'm going to show you is the Roskilde Town Hall and St. Laurence Tower. Only one section of the church is about from 1125 and has been excavated, and now today can be seen as a part of an exhibition, and that exhibition is a part of the museum. So it is like you could go and pay, I believe it is like a 40 Danish krone the ticket, and then they tell you about the history and all of that. Also, if you want to know about the history, there is like all of these pictures where there are some context about each picture. Also, like all from the 1900 all the way up to today, to 2015. So I mean, yeah, if you want to have like some context. And again, this was a little bit of the town hall and the St. Lawrence Tower. With everything that I've told you today, you can actually go inside. There is like museums, and you can have a guide tell you about the history. I could just tell you in general about the thing, but they can go deeper in depth. And yeah, so this was the last location, historical place that I had to show you. Actually, what I want to say is the historical places are a bit not far from each other. Actually, you can see that the yellow mansion is right there, the Roskilde Cathedral is there, right there, and then we have the town hall and St. Lawrence Tower. So it isn't far. The museum, the Viking museum, is a bit like 800 meters away from here. That was all what I had to say in this video. If you've enjoyed this video, please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of this type of content, and just historical places, or just, you know, family attractions, all what I show you guys in my previous videos and today in today's video. Comment down below what you want to see, if you want to see something different. And if you want to follow my socials such as Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of the links are going to be in the descriptions. And yeah, I'll see you the next time.